Today I wanted to talk about something that has been going on through my mind a lot, something that I have been going through a lot. And as a millennial, I noticed that, this is not something that I have been going through by myself. I have discussed so many of these topics with my friends who are married as well, and we are all going through the same things, and they're not like intense issues, within our marriage. It's just certain things that we have discussed, and how to get through it, and just things that we've learned from being married. Now, I have been married for 2 years and some change. We're currently on our third year. Yeah, on our third year, and I know it's still fresh. Like, I honestly feel like we're still in our honeymoon stage, but I promise you guys, I have learned so much. It's ridiculous. And I know in 5 years from now, I'll have more advice to give you guys, because we learned so much and we changed throughout the years, and So before we dive in, like and subscribe for more content of my family and I. And for those of you guys who are new, my name is Kenya, also known as Danya. That's a whole different story. This is Abigail. I also post some cute stuff on her. Your husband is not going to be your source of happiness. Do not get married, or do not even get engaged with the idea of like, oh my gosh, I'm finally going to be happy. I'm finally going to reach that moment in my life that I've always been hoping for. Honey, that's not gonna happen. it's not. Like, even the day we got married, it was literally like, it was amazing. It was a spiritual moment for us. But for me, that's just who I am. I'm more of like a realistic type of person. It was like another day. I didn't get into the marriage thinking like, oh, all right, this is brand new. This is going to be life. He's gonna make me so freaking happy. This is what it is. But there were some things that really bothered me, and I've seen things online where like women would crash their boyfriend's PS4 or their Xbox, or crave for attention or this and that, because they're just sitting there hoping that their boyfriend is just going to jump up and be like, hey, let's do something. I've had moments dealing with that, and I've had a lot of friends who deal with the same thing. And it's just like, even if it's a video game or just soccer or TV or their phone, like men and their phone, guys, it's like, hello, I'm here. Am I just here for food and for your own pleasure? I don't understand. Like, can we talk? Are we cool? Like, and that's one thing that I dealt with for like a while, where I was just sitting here waiting for him to make me happy, sitting here waiting for him to, make my day. You know what I mean? Like, do not go into your marriage thinking like I did. I knew from the get-go, like, he is not my source of happiness. I need to be my source of happiness. God is my source of happiness. But it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but when it comes to day-to-day actions and stuff, you kind of feel this sort of disappointment, and it's just like, bro, like, you're on your phone all day, bro, you all you're doing is watching soccer. Like, what's going on? Why can't we do something together? What's going on? And it came to the point where I had to realize, like, I can do stuff by myself. We don't have to do things together all the time, because we do. And then there's times when he comes home from work, and maybe he just wants to relax, and I'm over here just like, hey, what's going on? Talk to me, hug me, cuddle with me, let's go out. You know what I mean? I can't just literally rely on my husband to be happy and to feel like, okay, I did something great today. Me and my husband did this together. You can do things by yourself. That's one thing I noticed. Like, although we're together, where this is a union, you shouldn't feel like you have to do everything together. He should not be your only source of happiness. Do some things yourselves. Join a book club, hang out with some girls. If you have a passion on the side, like mine is modeling, I actually feel like I have a life now. Like, I'm busy. I have things to do. I hang out with other people, and I have my daughter. And it also takes stress off of him too, because there's times where he's at work and he's worried about my mental state. He's just like, hey, are you okay over there? I know you've been home all the time. Like, is everything all right? And so now that, like, I get things done, or I do things, there's times where I'm actually doing things, and we're both okay. So find happiness within yourself. That sacrifices will be made. And this one thing that I realized in the beginning of marriage, probably after my first year, and I was just like, wow, this is going to be harder than I thought it would be. For senior year, I had an offer for an internship in DC. Like, I graduated political science, and my goal was to go out to DC, get an internship, work my way up the hill, go to law school out there, do what I wanted to do out there to do. And I got an offer, and we were excited, and Tom was hoping to find a job out there, but we didn't get anything. And instead he found a job out here in San Diego, which is where we are. And so I was just like, it's just one of those things where, are you gonna decline your offer, or am I gonna decline my? I had to sacrifice my goals that I had after college, and I've noticed that it's weird, like, as a millennial, as a woman of this age, you have these standards that you set for yourself, and that others may have unfortunately set for you as a woman, that you have to work as well, you have to have your own career, you have to do your own things, don't be out here popping all these babies and staying at home. And it's harder than it seems, because you're married and your husband's career low-key kind of comes first. I noticed that. Like, I had to sit back and think. I was just like, this is going to be really hard for me, because I am a feminist, and I feel like I call myself like an independent woman, but you have to kind of set aside those standards and those beliefs and those titles that are held over you just from being in this millennial age and this time, because it really can cause a wedge in your relationship. Because if you focus too hard on you and what you wanted to for yourself and what you wanted to do, you end up but you end up forming this space of where it's only about you. You're not really focusing on this union you have in your family, because if that were the case, I would never be able to have Abby. Focusing on yourself and not making those sacrifices for the family, it will cause that wedge. But I've noticed, honestly and truly, in a marriage, women make more sacrifices than men, and this is not a battle to be like, oh, I'm doing this more than he is. But as just standing back on a third-person perspective, I've noticed that I did have to make a lot of sacrifices. Like, my family's not out here, and I wasn't able to do the internship on DC, but we've gained so much. And that's another thing that you have to realize, is you have to have a mature mindset for things. Like, realize what is the greatest perspective that you want to get from this relationship. And if you don't want to have kids, if it's not a family, then a marriage is really not for you. But this is like, I'm like more than happy than what I probably would have had if I went on the internship in DC. We probably would have been struggling a lot because DC is expensive. But let me just tie it back in. You have to make a lot of sacrifices. You have to be mature mentally to make those sacrifices and to realize this is a union. And sadly, as a woman, yes, you've been making a lot of sacrifices, where it's physically with your body, where it's, career-wise, where it's like, dang, I can't really do this, I can't really do that. But it's all for good. It's all for your family. Partnership is key. That's my next point. You have to do everything together when it comes to making decisions, making choices, or even shopping. Like, not like, okay, hit him up and be like, I'm gonna go shopping, is this cool with you? But realizing your budget in advance, noticing that you guys have to have common goals to go on in the future. It's crazy, because love is important. It is key. But I notice when it comes to marriage, it's more on friendship and respect and that mutual understanding between one another that really pushes things forward to another level. It's like, yes, you love each other, but then once you have that respect and that partnership, it's just like, yo, this is a bond that is just it's on another level. You know, you literally have to be able to be committed to that. Like, do not just be like, oh my gosh, she's so cute and we cuddle all the time. And because when you're in a relationship, it's literally like, love is blind. Not like I didn't see anything, but you are just surrounded by this fog of just, oh my gosh, I love this boy, he's everything, cuddle with me, buy me food, let's go out to eat, let's go to the movies. It's crazy. But when you're in a marriage, it's like, okay, we're going to go into the next step, but we have to be mature with things, because I mean, with these other factors that come to play, things can fall apart, as in, you know, you can become homeless, or if you don't deal with your finances right, things can literally fall apart. So before you get married, understand that you need to establish that partnership on a mature level to get things done together and to be able to confide in each other, and also becoming emotionally together. Like, when it comes to things, you need to be able to confide in him and he needs to be able to confide in you, because there'll be times where things get really hard, and just knowing that he can come to you and you can go to him as a partner, literally your relationship is rock solid. Like, you're good to go. Communication, guys, this is such a like typical thing to say, but communication is key. Like, and this is the thing, like, there's ways of communication, and you have to respect how others communicate. And this is something that I really had to work on, and outside of our relationship, I had to work on this with friends. Like, I was that friend who was annoying as heck. Like, if we had a problem, I wanted to solve it right then and there, not knowing how other people like to deal with things and how they communicate. Like, I had people that I've roomed with, and they literally needed to take some time. You know, they needed to get some fresh air, or to rethink and reevaluate the situation before confronting me. And that was not okay with me. Like, I would literally be like, nah, we're talking about this right now, what's up? Like, because that's how I like to get things out of the way, hash things out, and become cool in like 5-10 minutes, you know. But that's not how things work. It's not how people work. And noticing how your spouse, how your boyfriend works with communication, you need to get that down now before you get married. Like, because when our first year, it was tough, because I'm still the same way. And Tom, I don't know if you guys noticed in the very few amount of videos he was featured in, he's very quiet, he's very just timid, and you know, and I'm not like ratchet or anything, but I get to the point and I like to get things across. I like to speak my mind. And our first year, it was a little rocky because of that, because he'll be like, I don't want to talk right now, and I'm like, but we are going to talk right now. And I was just, you know, just be over dramatic, and because me, I like to literally be really dramatic and just pan things out. So it's just like, if we don't solve this relationship, this problem now, our relationship is over. I need to figure out what's going on right now. And so realizing how your spouse communicates is key. Like, I feel like people just get to the topic communication and just be like, oh, we need to communicate, we need to sit down and talk. No, there's more of a like an approach to approaching communication. You have to realize how that person communicates, and you need to realize there's certain types of ways that people cause wedges within communication, like, you know, that they call stonewalling, or even deflecting, or doing you statements like, this is your problem and this is what you do. Like, you need to realize that those small things within the communication category, or within the communication, I guess, you might just have to take a class, because there's so much within it, because there's different tactics that we do and that we do not realize that makes a conversation go left. A conversation that could have gone smooth, but it literally gone left because of the way you spoke. So figure it out now, because it can get tough. And honestly, if you want to just, you know, literally be in a bed of roses now, it's okay. It's good to learn along the way in your marriage. You know, that's what growth is about. And this is for women, and this kind of relates to the sacrifices I was talking about. But this is my channel, ladies. Please do not try so hard to be the head of everything, to be in control. take pride in your position that you are in. And that's one thing that I really had a hard time dealing with, and even with conversations, like it just really bothered me, because you know how I am, and even in my life, I'm that person who just get things done. I'm the boss of me. I in control of things that I do. And the first year of being married, I struggle with that, because I'm just like, what? Excuse me? And I felt like I had to do things. I had to be in charge. Like, I would set a schedule for the day. I would do this, I would do that. And it would kind of undermine his purpose and his role in the marriage. And I don't want to get too stuck into roles, because, you know, nowadays things you can both do together. Like I said, we wash dishes together. He takes care of Abby sometimes more than I do. He even knows how to do his hair better than I do. Her hair better than I do. Like, I know how to moisturize it, but this dude literally gets within every strand, and I'm just like, all right, her hair is moisturized, thanks. But when it comes to like the most important roles that kind of just signifies who you are in a relationship, husband and wife, don't get too stuck on the idea of I have to do this, or I don't want you doing this because of, you know, I'm an independent woman, and or this is what I need to be doing, because you will just literally break the foundation of your marriage. Now, I love this analogy. I really love this analogy, but your husband is literally the head of the household. You are the neck, and trust me, as being the foundation and the neck of this relationship, you can control where things go. You can control literally his movements. And it's not like, you know, this, you can do whatever I want, but it's more of like a classy manner when it comes to being a wife. And I'm not there yet, trust me, I'm not. I've spoken to a lot of moms or wives who are way far ahead in their marriages than I am, and they've spoken like great counsel to me, and it's just like, wow, just amazing. And you can tell that, like, yo, she is really running things on the low. And that's an amazing thing about being a woman, is being discreet, being classy with it, and being wise. Like, being so outspoken about things, I need to do this, I need to do that, that doesn't work out. A woman who just pretty much just walks in and, like, you know, she knows her place. She's more, it shows, you know what I mean? You don't have to say anything to have that role, you know what I mean? Because you know that role comes from within. We are women, ladies. We are women. We got this, all right? There's no need to speak about it. Just know that this is your home. These are your children. You got this. Like, if you ain't cooking, no one's eating. If you don't have that nurturing aspect to you, everything falls apart. So don't focus too hard on establishing things and being the person to do that main thing, when, I mean, it is a husband's role. And I mean, I'm telling you, if you get too bent on what's going on with feminism and this and that and careers and stuff, your marriage, it most likely won't last. There will be a gap in something if you keep doing that. I did do that, and like I said, I've been lucky to have a lot of grown, wise women around me to give me tons of advice. So now I'm just like, I put myself in check, because I know how I should see things from now on. So ladies, for those of you guys who are engaged, congrats. But just know that it's not peaches and roses all the time. Keep that fire alive, keep that love alive, and it also comes with your sexual life. Keep up with that as well. I don't want to dive in there, because this is not my platform to go all out on sex and everything, but pretty much keep everything alive. And with all these other factors, if you're satisfied in everything else, it will come naturally. And love is not the end all be all. You have to be able to check the box in all of these other factors. It's not just about love. You have to be able to be committed to each other. You have to have an amazing friendship. Have a friendship, guys. Don't just be in love. Like, if y'all can sit there and talk for a long time and be cool without even having sex or even kissing up on each other and giving each other hickeys for hours. I know how boyfriend and girlfriend relationships can be. If y'all can just literally sit there and have a friendship, you should be okay, because within that friendship you have communication. You know how that person is, you know their interests, you know what they love, and you guys can go on to that next step and be in a marriage and have an amazing family. But yeah, these are some things that I've learned within my first 2 years of marriage. And guys, like I said before, it's not that long, but it feels like it's been forever. We will see you guys next time, and love you guys for watching, and have a good one.